Hey there, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jamie, and we're your co-hosts for Two Clicks in a Pod.
Join us as we explore our missed times, stories, and memories due to divorce and a 1,000-mile separation.
I can't wait. You ready to get into it, Kev?
I am. Hey, Jamie, you think they're going to swear?
Oh, yeah. Consider yourselves warned.
Here we are.
I was waiting to see if you would go first.
Oh yeah, live. We're live and ready to go here.
Hey, Daddy-O.
Part of February. Yep. Hey.
Hey, February. That's
time,
right.
Long time no talk. Seems like it's been weeks.
Right? It does.
Probably has been.
It's nice to see you.
Good seeing you.
You got all your long. You got all your long hair covered up. So either you cut it or it's covered by the hat.
No, it's still a hot mess. I'm telling you, I'm still trying to weather through it. I feel like I have to give it a little bit more time. It's curling so much that doesn't seem like it's getting any longer, even though it is getting longer.
We got the Super Bowl this weekend.
I know. I'm totally excited about that.
Are you going to be rooting for the Eagles?
I'm not rooting for. I'll be rooting for the Eagles and that's hard for me to say.
All right.
Because I do think the eagle fly is obnoxious, but that's
fly,
not as
Eagles,
obnoxious
fly.
That's not as obnoxious as the other characters on the other side of the ball. I'm just not a Mahomes fan. I can't say I'm a big Travis fan. Obviously not I'm over all of that. And I think most of us guys are, other than I think everybody for the most part in the company are pulling for Kansas City. I know Shane is. I know Rob is. I know Todd is.
I mean, Shane's definitely not going to go for the Eagles, being an avid Cowboys fan. He's just not ever going to do that.
Yeah, I've watched all the freaking conspiracy theories with the referees in Kansas City, and I just think that whole team is just. They're a good team, no doubt about it. And you always hate the good ones.
Well, I was going to say, everybody did all this same stuff with the Patriots when Brady was in his era of winning all the time. And my old trainer that I used to work out with, Vinny, I loved when he said this. He goes, James, nobody likes a winner. Nobody likes to see people win. And how sad is that? And I was like, you're right. It's as a culture, it feels like that when a team or a person is just killing it. It is human nature that everybody just like roots against them. And I don't mean the whole underdog effect. I love the whole underdog story. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, oh, we're not going to go for them. We're going for the underdogs, because it's not like the Eagles are the underdogs this year. They've had a phenomenal season.
Well, they've had a phenomenal few years.
Yeah. I mean, last year
since their last trip.
Yeah.
I mean, they were off last year, but good talent, great team, great. I mean, they've shown it. I mean, I really think they're going to dominate this game.
I mean, they dominated in that Commanders game. And
yeah, for sure.
After watching the Commanders play the Lions, I was like, man, I don't know if the Eagles can pull this off. And they dominated in that game.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad story, one and done type scenario where they get there and had the Lions won. I mean, and I'm not a big Commanders fan, only because I think if they were the Redskins, I probably would have gone for them, which I hear they're still trying to get that.
Well, that whole thing was so stupid. I mean, at least they have a name now, but I just think it's silly. I shouldn't say stupid. I don't mean to sound insensitive to the whole reasoning behind it. So I'll backpedal on that a little bit. However, being an avid Florida State Seminoles fan, they still maintain their logo, their mascot, their name. And all they did was ask the Seminole tribe, hey, are you offended by this? And they were like, no. You represent it well. You honor their tradition. You don't make a joke of it. We love it. And so it's kind of like, who really had a problem with them being the Redskins?
The Commanders in Washington, D.C. had a problem with it. So. Because the tribes there are wanting it to come back. I mean, they feel cheated because they aren't getting any recognition of their
right.
Yeah, I mean, as they got everything else taken away, well, they took away a freaking Redskin helmet, so now they've got no identity. I mean, it's not that they don't have an identity, but that's something they were proud of. So
yeah, I agree.
mean, you got to be sensitive. And you talk about somebody that's just gotten kicked in the groin all the time. It has been the Indian nations of all.
No doubt.
I mean,
no doubt.
They've had a shit show to deal with from the get-go. Oh, I love that. Shit show to get-go. There you go.
That was good.
That's
new t-shirt.
That's a new t-shirt logo. My boat, my music. I think that comes in number 2. But yeah, shit show from the get-go. Love that.
I said that.
I feel like I'm catching a cold here. Suzanne's down and out today. And
well, we've all been
feeling good.
We've cycled through. Reese went back to school today. She was out Thursday, Friday, and all weekend. Chris is now sick. I mean, it's this season, this year for sickness has been just terrible. It's like everyone I know is sick. It's the stomach bug, the flu, everything. It's bad this year. I mean, we're surviving it, but it's kind of a bear. I'm optimistic that means next year it's like we're all going to build up all these immunities, so next year's not going to be as bad.
Well, I hope. Go ahead.
That's the outlook. That's the outlook I'm taking.
Well, I tell you who was most excited about that. So I when I was in Dallas, I go in and get my annual physical, and I was scheduled originally for 9:20. In the last many years, I've always just gone to Heidi Vanderbilt. I think it's not Vanderbilt; it's Vander something. So I've let Heidi do my physical. Well, Dr. Grand and I have a history for 25 years.
Many years, yes.
Yeah, he's the same age. We were born the same year, so he's the same age. And I started going to him when I was 40 years old. So they called me the day before and told me that they could move me up at 8:20 and that'd get me out of there sooner. And I said, okay. And I said, I'm in. I'll be there. And I show up and I realize after going through the whole prep work, talking to the nurse and this and that, and she goes, well, Dr. Grand will be in a minute. And I said, oh Lord, oh Lord, I said, I love Dr. Grand because he is very knowledgeable. He's smart as heck. I mean, he does his research into anything and everything. When your grandpa, my dad was going through his Alzheimer's issues or his delusional disorders, they were tagging it. Mm-hmm. He's the one that did that research. I mean, I was in there one time, I came back and he'd gone through and he looked into it. And he said, this is more of a delusional disorder deal. Had printed off the article. Let me have it. Let me read it. Every time I go in there until Dad passed away, he's asked me how Dad was doing. I mean, he's genuinely concerned.
Sure.
So, and he's always about what he's learned. And of course, the flu epidemic was causing the Texas. I saw it on the news and he started talking about the flu, which is what he loves to talk about, that and COVID, which he loves to talk about.
Why?
So
God.
he was telling me about just how bad the influenza was. And I said, well, I got my flu shot last time I was here. And he said, yeah, I see that on the charts and that's good. And he goes, have you gotten your COVID booster? And I said, Doc, I'm not big on the whole COVID scene. And he said, well, let me tell you why you should be. So he goes through these stories. He's got 2 40-year-old males that have symptoms of what's known as long COVID.
I've heard of this a little bit. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Well, they're debilitated. I mean, they can't even get out of a chair. He's had 1 pass away. He's got 2 that are basically just can't even operate in day-to-day life. And then he was telling me about something else. But so he kind of shames me into getting my COVID booster, which I have said no. And I took a COVID shot and my arm hurt like hell for 2 days, and it still hurts today, actually. Yeah. But I didn't feel bad. Anyway, he showed me the maps. He showed me every hot state. Texas was in a warm state for flu and COVID. Mm-hmm. The hottest state for flu and COVID?
Tennessee.
Tennessee was freaking
Tennessee?
Black. It was black. It wasn't even red. It was black. It was.
Why?
Well, you know why?
I don't. That's why I asked you.
He said immunizations
are down.
Are 10% in Tennessee.
Well, I can tell you this.
He kind of walked around and he knew all the statistics of just people who don't believe in getting flu shots or COVID shots. And Nashville, Tennessee is one of them. And I mean, you think about that, and I'm not being cruel here, but I mean, you've got to look at the population. And I mean, Texas is kind of that way. They're the kind of the same way, but it wasn't nearly as, and it was in a red.
Well, Texas
they had schools being shut down. They had kind of had schools on the news being shut down. They were letting out on Thursday and weren't coming back until the 3rd, which is today. So anyway,
I had heard about that.
Anyway, but what should take an hour always takes an hour and a half, and that's exactly where it took. You know, I put 2 quarters in the meter, and it's good for 50 minutes, and I'm hopeful. And then I go out there, and my meter's expired, and nobody's checking meters these days.
No,
I don't worry about it. But anyway,
I don't ever. Well, now
I have gotten a ticket in there to where I'd use the app to where you could put another hit on it and it would give you another 15 minutes. But you actually got the better deal by putting quarters in the machine than you did by buying the actual app.
So here in media, they got rid of, you can't do a quarter anymore. It's all,
I know.
It's all the app, which I mean, you say you literally if you max out your time, it's like $5.
Well,
so here.
2 quarters will get you it'll get you 50 minutes times 2. So that's a pretty good run.
But, well, 2 quarters used to get you 30 minutes.
Well, this one would get you 40 minutes, I think is what it would actually get you. This time it only gave me, I think it gave me 50. No, it gave me, I put 3 quarters in there and it had 50 minutes. So it was 20 minutes. No, that's not true. Anyway, it was a lot less.
I'm just sitting here.
And I don't carry quarters anymore.
Well, who does?
So
nobody.
I was lucky to.
Because you don't carry cash. I was lucky
to find 3 in my. Well, I had cash. I just didn't have a quarter.
Well, my point is,
I didn't want to jack around with that app, but I've got it on my phone.
I guess what I'm just saying is people don't carry cash like they used to, right? So,
no,
like
you're right.
Not a lot of change floating around. Anyways, this is all very exciting conversation.
Well, I think so.
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's called catch up. I'm just catching you up. So,
I know. I
had a sonogram. I had a sonogram when I was there.
Why?
For my liver.
Oh, why?
So, well, they've been watching it for a few years, and fatty liver is kind of runs in. I don't know if it runs in the family or not, but they say it's a genetic thing. So they had been talking about me going to get the sonogram for 2 years, and anyway, I was right there, and I said, okay, well, I can do it. Where is it? It's across the street. Okay. So I said, I can leave and go across the street and get it right now. They said, well, you can try. So I did try, and the place was loaded up. So I made it for Friday morning, the following morning at 7:30, and went and got that done, and everything. Saw the report today, came back just fine. Everything was fine. He was all worried about it. And just because the liver enzyme or whatever it has been higher than they would like it.
Yeah,
to be, but it all checked out fine.
They checked Chris for that after his last physical, and it came back and everything was fine.
Yeah, but they just couldn't see my pancreas because I had gas in my stomach.
No.
No, that's what it said. The gas was blocking the visual of that. I said, well, how can gas block visual?
You're like, isn't it clear?
I thought so. Must be cloudy gas.
Yeah.
If I were to give it a mark, I would have given it an 8, but it wasn't because it was cloudy. It just flat out stunk, you know.
Oh, shit. That's great. That's freaking great. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, all right. So the trip was good, and now you're back home. When's your next?
Back home.
For like what, a week until you're gone again?
Yep. Got to go back.
Oh, for real? I was joking.
Yeah.
Where are you leaving? Where are you going now?
Going back to Dallas to get the bus. Had to leave the bus behind.
Oh, no. I don't even want to get into it. I don't even want to hear it.
Not going to. That's all you need to know.
Holy cow.
That's a story in itself.
Oh, Lord. Another mojo problem. Holy Hannah.
Well, I was just taking it back to get it looked at, and then
it's fine.
It was
We're
funny.
We're not going to get into that.
It was funny. It was
That's
funny.
Just
but
crazy.
Anyway, going to go back and grab that, and then Suzanne, we're going to hit the marina on the way home. she's dying to go in the marina because she has a ring on her finger now.
That's. I do know. Do you want to share?
Spoiler alert! There's a spoiler alert. Anybody that doesn't want to hear the ending of that should needs to turn it down. There, yeah.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to share your news then?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's got a ring on her finger, so we had the big engagement ring presentation on Christmas Day.
Yes, you did.
And it was a presentation. It was a lot of work and a lot of effort going into that. So, which I love doing. You know me, I like a project, and I really worked it and got it done good. So it was very interesting. She was some very excited.
Mm-hmm. We'll share pictures of what you did. Dad created in his engagement a box that had the ring box in it, and it had a poem on one side as well.
Yeah, it was a trifold. It was a trifold. Or a twofold box, I guess. Yeah.
Twofold box. Open up.
The box that kind of overlaps each other. Yeah.
I do. Yeah. So we'll share a picture with that. Well, congratulations. I've always obviously already knew this and said that, but it's exciting news.
Yeah, everybody's excited. I'm telling you, it's amazing how a good woman in my life brings excitement into the world. I mean, Greg and Holly were just besides themselves. They were kind of crazily. We hadn't seen them since that news, so they were excited about that. So, well, it has been received very well, and I've actually gotten some congratulations from some of my high school classmates on Facebook.
Well, they're going to meet that Suzanne soon when you have the reunion this spring. So
that's right. That'll be great. They will. I'm bringing her. I don't know if anybody else is bringing their significant other, but I'm bringing her. She's real curious to meet all these.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Fans. Yeah. So.
Well, we'll get into this, but you're in a much different phase of your.
It's called healthy. It's called healthy.
Adulting than maybe some of these other people in your class and their relationships, right? Possibly. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying you're
Mine is new and fresh.
Right. And not that it's not as special or as important, but not. You're in a different phase.
Any relationship is special.
Of your romance. So it is the season 4 romance. So approaching, you're now engaged and feeling the love. What do you think about Valentine's Day? What is your overall opinion of Valentine's Day?
Man, I'm not a big fan on that. I'm just glad that I did it at Christmas because I thought about doing it at Valentine's and I said, Valentine's is just not a good day for me. I don't know why that is. It just seems to be so, Christmas is good. Valentine's Day, not that I haven't probably had good Valentine's Day, but I don't remember anyone but the one that I had when I was 5 years old. So there you go.
Yeah.
I told that story earlier, but just loved Valentine's Day when I was a kindergartner.
Because it was associated with candy a lot too. When you got them in the kids box, you got the card and the candy.
Got those cards, cards and candy. The cards were great. Everybody pretended to like you. So there. It
kind of fizzles out though. At least from my opinion, it sounds like yours as well. Around the age of 8, like where Parker's at right now, like he doesn't even want to give Valentine's. He didn't want to give them last year, and I made him do it. He doesn't. He's like, I don't want to do it, Mom. And I'm like, dude, you can't be like the one kid in the class that doesn't do it because that's weird, right? So I basically make the Valentines for him, and then we give them. But anyways, this is my thing. I'm not a fan of Valentine's Day. I never have been. And I over the years of saying this, people have always said it's like they think it's because I'm bitter, like I didn't have, like something happened to me. And nothing ever happened to me on Valentine's Day. But what always bothered me, it started really back in high school when I just started to really dislike it, is because the girls that did have the boyfriends with the obnoxious gifts. So they would walk around with the small vase of the flower with the one flower and then the giant teddy bear or stuffed animal. and balloons. So it would be this whole thing, and they're walking through the halls and they're like running into you and giving you attitude for hitting their bullshit giant bear or something. And that's when I just started to really go off the Valentine's train, because I just think it's obnoxious.
Well, that in itself says a lot to me, because think about it. I mean, in your generation versus my generation, and I am going to call people out there that listen to this podcast, all one of you, if you would at least share somehow, some way, either by text or by giving us some feedback on the website or wherever you can, I would
Socials.
love to know from my class or my generation. I don't remember Valentine's Day being a big thing in high school, but I wasn't dating any girls in high school either. So, I mean, it was not.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody. I don't remember people, even, of course, we didn't even, I don't think we had a homecoming of anything, because we didn't have a football team, but we did have a soccer team, but we didn't celebrate even a homecoming. I don't believe, and I may be mistaken. I probably am, but I would like to know. I know Valentine's Day is huge for some people, just like Halloween or any other holiday, but it's just never been, as Jamie said earlier in one of these episodes, I'm the worst gift giver ever until this past Christmas, when I finally figured it all out. But
just gave jewelry.
I always gave gifts with intention. It just may not have matched the expectation on the other end. So, that goes without saying. But I mean, the big mums, all that stuff on homecoming, or just the what goes on with all of that. I mean, it's just a way to sink another, what was $50 and now $150, and probably day after tomorrow $350 on somebody's lapel or shoulder. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yes. And it wasn't everybody that did it, but it was enough that I just always found it annoying. And then the other side is just like, everybody, which is all these women and girls or whatever, they get so upset if they like don't have a Valentine, or like if their Valentine's Day is shitty. And I'm like, well, was yesterday shitty too? Because typically, like, and you're in a bad place, like, every day is kind of shitty. So why do you have to let today make you feel just terrible? It's like, it's just a day, just like any other day. And I don't know, like Chris and I don't say this because, not like, oh, I bet her husband doesn't do anything for her. I genuinely have never asked. I don't even think about it most times. We don't go out to dinner because it's overcrowded and overpriced. So I don't even see the point in doing that. Really, now it's like, it's something for me just to like love on the kids. Like, I'll get them like a thing of candy and tell them Happy Valentine's Day. That's kind of where I find my joy in it now.
All holidays are moving as far as what day of the week, but Valentine's Day is one of those things where you have to move it based upon, it may be on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and not everybody's able to go, if you know what I'm saying. It's just not.
Yeah.
I'm sure Valentine's is being celebrated in restaurants around wherever and all around, Monday through Friday of Valentine's week.
Oh yeah.
But this prompts me to think of this is a good question as to how important is Valentine's Day. Better yet, what did you do on Valentine's Day? That was one of the first things you brought forward, when we decided to get on here and think about the love month, and Valentine's right around the corner, 11 days away. But I would love to, at the reunion, ask my classmates what's their memories from Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. Yep.
Do it.
And better yet, they don't know it, but we're going to be there.
Well, and speaking of getting some, hearing some stories, I would love to hear if anybody wants to share with us. Somebody may really like Valentine's Day, and I love them for loving that. So I would love to hear a good Valentine's Day story, or better yet, to your point, why do they love Valentine's Day so much? I'm ready for someone to flip this cynic in me around. I mean, maybe I can be sold.
Well, yeah, and it's like I told you, I thought about proposing on Valentine's Day, but that's just not. I mean, that
It
just.
feels very
I'm sure a lot of
cliche to
people.
me.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
very cliche, and even
Yeah.
even proposing these days, it's an ordeal. It's got to be a stage show, or it's got to be a show, and I just really enjoyed it being on Christmas Day, and not her largest box, but one of the largest box, containing that ring, and she had no idea. I mean,
Well, the
that just
box
was a huge
definitely threw it
surprise.
off. Like if you had just
Oh yeah.
rolled up and at the end you were like, "Oh, and look," like you see it in the, my Hallmark romance movies I love so much. If they're like, "Oh, look, I just found this last gift hidden behind the tree,"
Yeah.
and then they pull it out and it's, "What could this be?" And it's the little box. It's like, I don't know. So anyways, I like that you went larger, because you definitely, if there had been any idea, you definitely threw her off, would be my point.
Well, yeah, and I bought her necklace and I bought her earrings, and so those were in little boxes. So it kind of set the
you
appropriate.
really set the stage.
I really had some diversion there. Yeah, it was very discreet.
Dad, you had Suzanne like blinged out by the end of Christmas evening. She was just all shiny.
Yeah, my sister Leslie told me that she said, "Hey, my birthday's January 7th. If you want to buy me some earrings," and I told her I would. I haven't gotten them
yet. It was January. You haven't gotten them yet. Well, you're a little behind schedule, but
well, yeah, I know, but I've got time.
They say it's the thought that counts. So,
right,
whenever you get around to it, Dad.
I'll surprise her.
Well, that would be even more special, just getting it out of the blue.
I know she listens to these, so I won't give it when it's coming, but it'll be coming.
I got some great earrings from Mom for Christmas. If you want me to send these are actual
opals.
Oh
yeah, I like those. Yeah.
These are, I have gotten so many compliments on these earrings. If you'd like me to send you the information.
Okay.
Shh. Don't tell her.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah. All right. Well, that's exciting news, Dad. I do think it's interesting. That's what I like to, me, I like to go a little deep and just the symbolism and all, where the difference is of where we're at. And I think it is just so fun that you, as the peepaw, as my dad, are now entering into this new, fun, exciting chapter of your relationship. Going to get, not like y'all haven't been together for a little while, but now going to make the choice to become partners and get married, which is great. So you're kind of there where we were, your kids, what, 15 years ago, I guess? Not quite.
Not quite.
So yeah, you flipped the script on us, Dad. But
yeah, and we've shared a story on my last, the disaster that you wigged out on. So I was just excited. I was really fearful. Was worried about how you were going to take it.
I was going to ask you, were you nervous to ask me, to tell me?
Well, yeah, you were the last one to be told because I couldn't get a hold of you as usual. But anyway, told Kelsey first, and she was all excited. She kind of knew it was coming and just could tell. And she's a big Suzanne fan. And
right.
Then we called Shane, and Shane had already told Suzanne that, if I ever asked, that it was not going to be a problem, that she just needed to say yes. So he gave her the go ahead months ago.
I love that Shane gave his permission.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't permission, but I thought it was fun. Everybody else knows the difficulty, but I just thought it was good that he had told her before. I didn't ask him, so he didn't tell me, but I can just tell with, how well she gets along, and everybody loves her. And, then we called you. Well, we called Mom. Like I said, you were the last one, and Mom was at Leslie's. So he told Leslie, and everybody knew that. And then Cindy was there, I think, if I remember right. So, we called her. No, she wasn't. She was over at Aaron's. So we called her. So everybody was clued in on the same day. And just got great reaction. I mean, everybody, I had talked to Holly about it before and told her that, I was kind of headed that path, and she was all excited about that. So anybody that was close had told the Brummers, even ahead of time that I was really giving this consideration because I knew Dan would be a little bit maybe surprised. He told me, he just told me I never needed to get married again, but he acted excited, and Lisa was thrilled. And so everything that was, in my wheelhouse was all good. And, of course she was very, very excited and just shook like a tree. I mean, it was so genuine in seeing just her reaction, number one, of being surprised, and number two, not believing it, because I know at one point in time she thought I never would, but it's all good. It feels good and feels right. And I was really excited about, the prep work and writing the poem and working and scrubbing on that. It's perfect. It's perfect. And everybody, sees how good we are together.
Yeah, I am genuinely happy. I can't remember who I told, but I said, I think they were very nervous to tell me. And they're like, well, why do you say that? And I said, well, because usually when I talk to Dad, if Suzanne is home, she will get on the call and talk with us, And I said, when Dad called, Suzanne was not there. She was not in the phone at all. And then you told me, and I said, I was very excited. You have to tell everyone. I was. And I said, oh, that's awesome. And I'm so happy to hear that. And then here comes Suzanne's head. And she just pokes in. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, God, I'm just terrible. That woman is probably standing behind the freaking phone. I don't want to, I'll wait to see how she reacts.
Yeah, she was waiting on you to either throw out cuss words or happiness. And then you threw out happiness. So it made it a safe exposure.
A safe space.
Safe space to move around to the other side of the deal. And she knew that I was really nervous about, calling you, just because you've always told me, Dad, don't you ever get married again. Don't you ever get married again. Yeah. And that's what Dano told me. Don't you ever get married again, So anyway.
Well, I'm not going to say I didn't have thoughts of that, but then what I got, into my head and just said, because I genuinely am very excited for you guys, truly. But of course I just thought anyways. And then I just got to a place where I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It isn't about you. It isn't about, my opinions of the logic of it all and those things. At the end of the day, gotta let that go, because these are not my decisions. It's not my life. But I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I went, okay. Not because I'm not happy, and I adore Suzanne. I do. I mean, she's been family long before this happened. I still just keep teasing her. We got to come up with her grandma name, because
that's a good point. Yeah,
can't just keep calling her Suzanne, or maybe we do. I don't know, but so in my mind, she's been family, and I'm happy to have her in the family. So, but it,
it's so cool though. It's what the respect that she has for family and family relationship is what just sets her apart.
Well, yeah, genuinely very happy for you guys. Excited, looking forward to, what that brings, what that has to offer, and everything. It's good. It's good news. I know. Well, it's funny because it's like I keep saying, you're kind of like starting this new relationship. I'm, in this in what they call, middle adulthood, and the busyness of life and your kids, and basically how important it is to maintain your relationship with your spouse. You hear this, make sure you date your spouse. And I agree with all of that, all of that. So this though is a great example of just I think if someone was explain where you and Chris are in your marriage right now, this is the story. So he comes home from taking Parker to the hockey tournament in Utica. He had been in New Jersey for work Tuesday through Thursday, leaving Thursday to drive to Utica. The weekend before that, I was with Parker in Plymouth, Massachusetts for hockey, coming home Monday over the holiday weekend. So we come home Monday. By the time we finally get home, Chris has already left to go to Jersey City for that work week. So I left for Plymouth on Thursday. He leaves the following Monday. I don't get home. I did not see him until that following Sunday. So I hadn't seen him in over a week.
That's what I
if that wasn't confusing enough. So and we're talking. It's not like we're not talking while I'm gone, but we're apart. So he comes home on Sunday and we're catching up, whatever, everything's fine. And then it was a couple hours later, he just asked me, he's like, so, did you, like, joking, like, about, did I miss him while he was gone or something something like that. And this is how I respond. I say, well, do you want me to be honest? And he's like, well, yeah. And I said, well, I mean, I miss you, but it was also really nice. I said those first 3 days, it was great. It was kind of like, a separation of all the normal, like you said, like people can just, as much as you love them, there's things that people do that just can drive you crazy. And I did some reading about all this because I felt guilty about it later. And it's like, well, this is all very normal to have these feelings because you do get to a point in your relationship where things get annoying and you get irritable and your patience and you take things out on the people that you're closest to because they're not going to leave you, all these things. So my response of, well, do you want me to be honest? So I say this.
That was enough.
Well,
that answered the question.
When I first say it, he doesn't really say anything one way or the other. He just kind of was like, yeah, and I get that. And then fast forward 2 days and he goes, that really hurt my feelings. And he goes, not even that you didn't really miss me. He goes, but why did you say, do you want me to be honest? He's like, what, you would lie to me? And I go, I don't know why I said it that way. I said, you're right. That really was just not nice. And I didn't mean it. And I don't know. I felt bad about it. And he then proceeds to tell me, I do miss you. I miss us. I feel like we don't have fun together anymore. We don't get to just go and be together and laugh. And when we were dating, when it was I really like this person. I really like being around them. Now it's just they're, and Chris and I both work from home and we do a lot of things together. So it's we're always together. That's my running joke when people say well, what's it like to work from home with your husband? And I'm always oh, we're always together, So anywho, I do think I'm very much in a phase where I'm taking my relationship for granted in the sense that, Chris really is my best friend, and when he is gone, or I'm doing things he is the person I think oh, I wish he saw that, or I can't wait to tell him that. So it's not that I don't think those things. It's just, I also do very well on my own, having that, oh, I just have to take care of myself and these 2 kids. I don't have 3 kids when Chris isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just had the 2.
Yeah. Well, I think that gets, I know we didn't get into it today, but gets into the, what you brought forward, as notes ahead of the game and just the different timelines of relationships, and not to go into that detail, but I hear you on that. It's being without actually for me makes you appreciate more. So it's just like me being in Dallas and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Thursday morning, with the team, with the guys, busy in meetings. You're totally focused on that. At the end of the day, you're wiped out, and Suzanne's wanting to catch up and talk and she's concerned, did everything go okay? everybody getting along, when you get, she knows how she knows the insides and the outsides of what's troubling me or what's not. And so she's very conscious of that. Better yet, she's trying to just make sure that she's being supportive of that, which sometimes just, I don't really have anything that I can say or do about it, but she's just curious. And she is very curious. She's a teacher. She likes she's looking for something all the time as to what answer needs to be provided. But anyway, and I'm sure Chris is very emotional when it comes to that. But my point being is that when you're away and you're doing stuff and you're busy, you don't really think about missing someone. You're just getting through the day.
Yeah.
And then as the day and the week came, and then she was coming in on Thursday, and I knew she was coming on Thursday, Monday through Wednesday. I was just trying to get through Monday and Wednesday and being where I needed to be. And on Thursday, she was going to be there. And I was just ecstatic, just because, we are good together. We can fun around. We can, she likes to tease me and I don't get it. And I tease her and I get it and she doesn't get it. But yet we still get to tease one another, just laugh about it. And so I'm never laughing when she's teasing me, and she's probably not laughing when I'm teasing her. But the point of it is it's just good. And so when she gets there, then it's just, it's just, you just feel at home and you feel so, and we were driving around in the car and we were going somewhere to dinner. And I said, honey, I'm just so glad you're here. I mean, it just, it just shows me that you are my soulmate, because I yearn for this time and just miss silly talk or miss whatever we want to talk about. And it just feels good. You're in the car with me, and it's not an empty seat, or better yet, it's not Shane sitting in the seat, or not the guy sitting in the seat. It's you, It's somebody that brings a different flavor to the mix. And you're right. I think that's a good thing, and something that we both feel and realize that's why we're in this together. So it is a good thing. So, but I do feel like we need to get into more talk like that, because it does come with, as you plotted out, different age groups. And I thought that was very appropriate, that the
middle adulthood,
middle adulthood covers a very large band of years. I mean, it's 20 freaking years. It's not,
well, and
a snippet.
They called it, or not called it, excuse me. They defined it, it was like 30 to 64. And I was like
65 years old.
Wow. So we have to
made me feel good.
Well, yeah. But I'm sitting here going like, God, I got a middle adult for 30 fucking years. Because I got to tell you, of all the stages, when I was reading them, like, it's definitely the most challenging one. It's like the stuff was all about finding yourself and having fun. And then it's like middle adult. And then you get to like early or late adult or whatever. I can't remember what it said. And it's like, oh, you're retiring. You're finally starting to explore your own interests and hobbies and do that. And I'm like, again, I've got to wait 30 more years, or not 30. I'm not that young, but I've got to wait 20 years to get to that point. 20 more years.
But in that description of over 65, there wasn't really anything fun.
Well, but it wasn't.
It was like they were rolling you out to pasture and you were done. I mean,
that was the next one. This was the one where it's like, now that your kids you're out of this work period, now focus on yourself. And I'm like, so I got to wait till I'm 65 to like focus on myself? I don't think so. Or better yet, focus on, my relationship. So it was a good little wake up call, and not a wake up call, not like anything, but I would say it was a good call out by my husband in a way that I feel like I did a good job of listening to and agreeing with yes. So back to my point of him saying, I just miss you. I miss hanging out. So we've said, we're going to work on that. We did go out to dinner, just the two of us, Friday night, and had a good time. And we'll continue to do that. But we kind of said before we went, I said, we're going to go. And I do not want to spend the whole night talking about Parker's, youth hockey tryouts coming up and our frustrations with all that. I'm like, I feel like all we talk about is hockey. And I'm like, I don't want to say a single word about hockey. And so we really made that a priority. So we talked about other things and went and had dinner and then went and had a drink and listened to a band. And that was fun. Of course, Chris knew, it was a cover band. It would be songs. I'm like, man, who is this? And of course, he knew who everybody was and just killed it in his music trivia. But so it was good. It was a good night. And, that's kind of trying to get back to that, trying to find that connection again.
Yeah, we did too. After dinner, we went over to the Balcony Club. Do you remember where that is? Down there by the Lakewood Theater.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We went up in there and they had they kind of specialize on Saturday nights, blues and jazz. And this girl named Rachel Partman, Partmon, just freaking killed it, kicked ass. I mean, just great vocalist. And anyway, so we got some live music as well, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice. I love that.
I'm just glad you guys got out and had fun, and that is important at that era that you're in. To just you still need a good date night.
Yeah, and to yes.
Yeah, I think everybody always needs to. And even I don't care what age you are.
No, but even just making the effort to not let that turn into being all about the kids. It's like, no, let's even if let's have adult conversations. Yeah, or even if it's like, look at this weirdo at the bar. It's like we'll
Lordy,
talk.
I've got a story I'll tell you a story when I see you about the weirdos that we saw in that freaking Balcony Club. There was some shit going down in there that was really strange.
Oh yeah, there always is. I mean, it's the best.
Ladies hitting on 20-year-olds.
Crazy. Yeah. Well, we were at Stevens.
Old ladies. Yeah.
The Cougars. The Cougars are on the prowl. Yeah, that's funny.
All right. Well, let's get out of here and wrap it up. And look forward to the next one. I guess that's coming up soon.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me share that.
Yeah,
It felt good to talk about that. So, All right.
Deep breath.
Deep breaths. On that note, I'm going to head home.
Chris put you in the hot seat on that one, so that's good.
Gosh.
All right, well, I love you. Yeah.
Love you too.
Let's look forward to seeing you again here.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in today. With so many podcasts out there, we are grateful you chose to spend your time with us.
And we'd love to hear from you. So send us your questions, comments, and feedback to info@twoclicksinapod.com, and we might feature your message in a future episode.
Also, don't forget to follow us on social and head over to our YouTube channel where you can watch the full episode live and in living color. You can find us at 2 Clicks in a Pod. That's 2, as in the number, clicks in a pod.
Well, James, until next time, love you.
Love you too, Daddy.